Hey everyone, hope we're all having a great day. Today we're taking a look at the best weapon combos in Apex Legends Season 11. There are a ton of great combos that you can run this season, so let's waste no time and just hop right into it with some of my best meta combos that you can rock. Kicking us off in my number one spot is the most reliable meta loadout that I use this season, and this is the R301 backed up with the Mastiff. Seasons come and seasons go, and one thing does remain, and it is the fact that the R301 is still my preferred weapon that I love to run if I know I need to perform well. There's no way around it. The R301 is one of the easiest beamers out there, and it is something that I continue to pick up if I want something that will perform at all ranges, from even the very, very close hipfire to the longer range tap firing. As for secondary, this did change this season as I did drop the EVA 8, as I do think the EVA 8 is pretty poor right now when I am comparing it to the other shotguns. While I do think the Peacekeeper is the best shotgun in the game, I now prefer to run the Mastiff in this combo because I am all about dealing steady amounts of damage, and the damage from the Mastiff is the best to do this, and it's a little bit easier to use than the PK. This is even more so now, especially with that new hop-up where you can reload 2 shells at a time, meaning you can just continue to fire shots and not really have to worry about reloading too much. I absolutely love the R301 and the Mastiff combo. It never lets me down. While the R301 with the Mastiff is my reliable meta loadout, the Flatline and the Peacekeeper is absolutely my sweat loadout. I'll run this if I am trying to push everyone and still have a weapon that is usable at both the mid-range and very good at close ranges. Sometimes I will run the L-Star as an alternative primary weapon, but I am really rocking the Flatline most of the time. If you are unaware, the Flatline is one of the best close and personal weapons that is a hybrid beamer, and while it isn't as good at further ranges, it's still pretty solid. And it's again that hybrid nature of this gun that makes it absolutely the best assault rifle in the game if you want something that is multi-purpose. It is absolutely hard to use this though, but once you do get that recoil down, it really isn't too bad. As for the secondary, the Peacekeeper is one of, if not the best secondary weapons you can run in the game, due to it having the highest damage per hit for a shotgun. This means I can beam people with the Flatline, which already does insane amounts of damage, and if I need to keep going, the Peacekeeper would be the most likely weapon for me to pull out to one-tap someone down when I am swapping to my secondary. I love both of these guns. Try them out this season. The third combo is my alternative sweat loadout, and this is going to be the Volt with the Mastiff. This is a combo I have been using for a little while now, and I find it does produce similar results as the Flatline combo, but with a little less range and a little less of a punch that the Peacekeeper would bring. I'll also run the Volt with the 2x Bruiser, as I find the recoil control on the Volt to really not be a problem, and it'll extend my effective range quite a bit if I do have that 2x. This is a loadout I'll run if I want to be a bit more reliable in terms of the damage dealing, but also still very aggressive. I like to keep this loadout in the back of my pocket because I do find a lot of players are running heavy ammo these days, and sometimes running an energy gun is a good alternative if both of my teammates are already running heavy. The Volt is one of the best guns in the game right now, and that extra range is so nice to have on Stormpoint. The next two loadouts are kind of my ranked loadouts, as they do produce a slightly slower playstyle, but are very reliable. The first is the longbow backed up with the new Car SMG. I have been preaching it for a little while now, but the longbow is so dominant in Apex and you need to be using it. I treat the longbow kind of like how I used to treat the G7 Scout, but it does have a higher damage ceiling due to it being a sniper, and ammo is sometimes easier to find as not everyone is picking up sniper ammo. The longbow is extremely easy to use, which can also be a huge bonus, and it has really a great magazine size where you can wipe entire squads with a single mag if you are very accurate. It's also pretty versatile and works at close ranges as well. As for the backup to the longbow, I am now repping the new Car SMG. The Car produces similar results to the R99, where I will be able to destroy anyone that pushes in too close, and it is a very reliable secondary for this reason. The big bonus for me though, by running the Car over the R9, is the fact that I do not need to choose between ammo and magazine types, and it's always very easy to have this weapon get ready and kitted up because of this. I really run the Car for convenience more than anything, and I think it works pretty well, especially in ranked where you can't always get the optimal loadout. I love this combo. It's something I use almost daily. I suggest you give it a try. My second ranked loadout, which I am also calling my mid-range beamer loadout, is going to be the double energy combo of the triple take in the Volt. First off, I will say energy ammo seems much easier to find this season since the triple take did return to the ground, and it is once again an energy gun, so don't worry about that. But this really is my ultimate mid-range setup, as the triple take does have a little less range than the longbow, but it is way easier to use. You'll also more or less be able to always get at least a partial hit on an enemy, which is 23 damage, which means an enemy has to always shield cell every single time. This does make a huge difference, and it really is great at slowing enemy teams down, and if you do manage to connect on bigger hits, you'll open up opportunities for pushes. And for the Volt, well, we already speaked on this, but it has a reliable amount of range for an SMG, and it's something I do feel comfortable using as a secondary. And since I am already running energy ammo, I don't overly need to worry about my inventory. Last season, I never would have thought about running a double energy loadout, but with this season and the triple take being on the ground and the ability to just craft 120 ammo when you are running double energy weapons, ammo is really not a problem, and I'm really digging this loadout. Be sure to hit that like button to support the video and myself. I appreciate it. And also check out all my socials in the description down below for more content and to stay up to date with what is going on around here. We are now moving on to the loadouts that are a little bit more of the alternative playstyle or my fun loadouts. And the first is going to be the Prowler backed up with the Peacekeeper. The Flatline and the PK is my sweat loadout, but this loadout is my solo queue warrior loadout, as the Prowler has an insane purple mag size of 35 for an SMG, and this allows me to be very up close and personal, while also being able to drop multiple enemies with a single mag if I am hitting my shots. This magazine size of the Prowler comboed with the Peacekeeper really lets me pack a hard punch to drop enemies. It is one of the hardest hitting combos that works very well for me. Also, if you haven't noticed yet, the Mastiff and the PK for me are both really great shotguns that I'll pretty much run either of them, and it really just comes down to which one I am finding first, as a lot of the times I don't love to change my loadouts mid-game. Either way, both of these shotguns are great interchangeable secondaries. Next on deck is the Rampage and Mastiff combo. This combo is an alternate ranked loadout, and a loadout I like using if I am trying to push higher damage games. The main reason for the Rampage is the fact that it is incredibly reliable at longer ranges than a lot of the other weapons in the game that are in a similar class like the Flatline or the R301 if you are going to pair them up with something else. Rampage does lack time to kill though, as it won't be the best close up unless you are absolutely hoarding those thermites, which then makes it a fairly competitive at close range, but it does come at the cost of inventory space, which is not great in my opinion. So if enemies are getting closer to me, this is when I will swap to the Mastiff for a close range engagement, because again, I do think it's a pretty steady damage dealer. I've dropped a few 4Ks with this combo, and I find it pretty easy to manage since the Rampage is one of the slower shooting weapons in the game. I suggest you give this combo a try if you really want a higher damage game. The next combo is one that I continue to love on the daily, and it is my old school Wingman and R99 combo. I will say that I am also now rocking the Wingman with the Peacekeeper, since the Peacekeeper did get a little buff, and this is an alternate combo. This combo really reminds me of the early days of Apex Legends and is more or less a pure nostalgia trip that actually performs incredibly well for an aggressive, accurate player. The Wingman is pretty versatile at close and even medium ranges, and the R99 is another great weapon to 200 to 0 someone at lightning fast speeds. The Peacekeeper is an alternate for the R9 if I am looking to really challenge myself from time to time. Now, I love the feeling of getting that clean Wingman shot and then getting that PK kill. If you want to improve your skill, I will say that this combo you might want to try out. I highly recommend this if you do want to try to become an accurate shooter, because it will require you to really hit your shots or you will die. And most of the time, I find that I push myself a little bit harder when I am running this combo. The next combo is my biggest surprise of the season, and this is the Devotion paired up with the Mastiff. Over the past month or so, I have really come around on the Devotion, and I mean a lot. I absolutely love this gun right now, and I might have been a little bit hard on it in the past. I haven't used the Devotion much since it was put back on the ground a handful of seasons ago, or even a year ago now, but I find that it is one of the best, most incredible weapons at squad wiping in the game. I will say it does excel when you got that turbocharger, and I find it to be somewhat weak without it, but even then it can be manageable until you do get that turbo. Once you do get this though, in a handful of attachments, the Devotion becomes one of the best, probably if not the best gun in the game. A fully loaded Devotion can literally wipe entire teams with a single magazine at more or less the fastest you can out of any weapon. It does come at the cost of inventory though, as you will need ammo, and you're gonna need a lot of it. Unfortunately, the Devotion has quite a few requirements to really excel like this, but if the stars align between attachments, turbochargers, and actually getting this gun, and you get a bigger backpack, you will make quick work of enemies. I again back the Devotion up with the Mastiff for a steady stream of damage if for some reason I do need more damage. This brings us to the other turbocharger weapon, and this is the combo of the Havoc with the Peacekeeper or the Mastiff. This combo is a challenge loadout for me, as I like to call it, as the Havoc definitely is not meta and it's a little bit harder to use. The Havoc is an incredible weapon though, and if you are using it properly, I find that it forces me to flex a little bit of my muscles to try and push myself to be better with controlling its crazy recoil. In order to do this, I need to put myself closer to enemies so I can be effective at dealing damage, and it's again more of a run and gun loadout that I will use if I'm trying to get up close and personal. If you are unaware, the Havoc almost works better if you treat it like an SMG, and I would recommend trying to hip fire it at close ranges, as you will just melt opponents. Similarly to the Havoc, I'll run a PK with this gun so I can really be on point with my shots and again push myself to be a better player. Regardless of what weapons you're using, and either way, there are a ton of incredible weapon combos in Apex Legends, so be sure to drop your combos down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you are using so I can try out new things as well. Also, if you want to chat about Apex Legends or find someone to party up with and you don't like playing with randoms, join our community Discord. We would love to have you. We're almost at 5,000 members over there. I kind of can't believe it. It's been a crazy time over the past few seasons. Till next time, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy gaming, Legends.